You know, outside of a few videos, I really try not to get political. And I'm gonna go ahead and state my opinion that the video I'm about to make is not a political video at all. Though half of the country probably will say it is. And I really want to say that if you are a right-leaning atheist or agnostic and you watch me, or if you're a right-leaning Christian and you watch me, I'm not trying to piss you off or alienate you. I'm giving my opinions on something major that's happening right now. What is up, you sinners and saints? Welcome back to The Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and today we are gonna talk about guns. Now, it's been all over the news what happened in Florida, yet another tragedy, another school shooting, another mass shooting, another shooting involving an AR-15, an assault rifle, in what we like to think of as a civilized society. We are barbarians selling guns at a massive scale. Now, this isn't going to be a video about the Second Amendment. This isn't going to be a video really at all about my solutions, because I think that people are putting out solutions, and I think voices are being heard for the first time, and that's what I want to talk about, is the change in dialect. And I also want to talk about how it seems to be these Christian fucks that'll go around and say they follow Jesus and say that their God is a God of love, and yet they are the ones defending the NRA. They are the ones voting in politicians that are making these guns available to society, defending their Second Amendment rights when they clearly don't understand what the Second Amendment says. They just go along with the rhetoric. It is these right-wing Christian fucks that do this. Now, I am an atheist. These same right-wing Christian fucks that vote in these right-wing Christian fucks that allow these guns to be on the streets, that vote in these right-wing Christian fucks that send our country to war time and time again, these same Christians will look at me and say that as an atheist, I have no morality. Some of them will claim that I'm a Satan worshiper, that I eat babies. Seriously. And yet here I am, advocating for the end of violence in America. So let this be proof that you don't need fucking God for morality, you just need fucking common sense. Now, I'm not saying get rid of all guns. Nobody's saying that. I mean, if you're a rational person, you know that in America you ain't gonna get rid of guns until you get rid of some of these ignorant fucks, and that's gonna take a few generations, and who knows if the world's gonna be around that long. We're not trying to get rid of your shotguns or your pistols. We are trying to get rid of the assault rifles, because it is these assault rifles that are killing people massively. That's why they're called mass shootings, because you are able to kill lots and lots of people in a short amount of time. Las Vegas, I mean, how many times does it have to happen before something changes? But something did change this time. And I said it previously in a previous video, just briefly, about how people are saying, fuck your thoughts and prayers. You know, and some Christians are saying this. Thoughts and prayers aren't doing any good. Guess what? God is failing you. If you thought God was gonna fix this fucking problem, because he's not. What's gonna fix this fucking problem, turns out, looks like it's gonna be a couple kids from Florida.
All these people should be at home grieving, but instead we are up here standing together, because if all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see.
Now, I do not hide that I'm a very hard left-leaning person politically, and I'm a very political person. I try to keep it off this channel. I'm not gonna lie when I say that this young woman has impressed me to no end. And I don't know her politics. I think it's clear that she's left-leaning. But she's impressed me. And she's caught the heart of a nation. And she's caught the ire of the right wing, and they fear her. They fear her because she's becoming the voice of something, of a great movement. And what she just said right there is that sentiment that is taking hold of this nation is that if God exists, he's failing. And stop with the fucking thoughts and prayers already. It's time to take action.
Since the time of the Founding Fathers and since they added the Second Amendment to the Constitution, our guns have developed at a rate that leaves me dizzy. The guns have changed and the laws have not. We certainly do not understand why it should be harder to make plans with friends on weekends than it is to buy an automatic or semi-automatic weapon.
You know, throughout her whole speech, she's gonna make great points, great fucking points, and I'm gonna cover a lot of them because this is a great speech. And immediately the right wing attacked her, saying that she was coached. That her and a couple of the other kids are crisis actors. All this shit's debunked. And she was probably helped in writing that speech, and why not? Why not? You don't think that the motherfuckers on TV every day don't have people writing their speeches? I love Bill Maher, but I understand when I watch Bill Maher that he's got writers, right? So, you know, yeah, all of my videos, I don't read from a script. I am just speaking off the cuff, off my brain to you guys. But most people on YouTube are reading from teleprompters and scripts. You know, it's what we do now. So fucking sue her if she prepped for what could very well turn out to be the highest point of her life right now. She'll probably never gain the fame that she has right now, although I really hope that they keep up this momentum, and I really hope that they continue this fight, because it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight for them to win. But they can win, they just gotta keep it up.
In Florida, to buy a gun, you do not need a permit, you do not need a gun license, and once you buy it, you do not need to register it. You do not need a permit to carry a concealed rifle or shotgun. You can buy as many guns as you want at one time. I read something very powerful to me today. It was from the point of view of a teacher, and I quote, "When adults tell me I have the right to own a gun, all I can hear is, my right to own a gun outweighs your student's right to live. All I can hear is mine, 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 mine." Finally, people are calling these jackasses out. You know, they had their slogans for everything. You know, you present them with some truth and they have a slogan for that shit. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. All that jazz you hear every day. And it's not even meant to be a talking point in a debate. It's meant to deflect. It's meant to end said debate with nonsense and drivel. You see, they refuse to admit that the underlying factor in all shootings is the fucking gun. And they're clinging to a past, denying a future that could be available for everybody, a right to life that should be available to everybody. You see, my fundamental right to life should supersede your right to a firearm. It just should. And I know you're saying, oh, well, there he goes. He's advocating against the Second Amendment to get rid of all guns. No, I'm just pointing out a fact. I don't care if you have a gun. I do care if you have a fucking machine gun. I do care if you have a gun around my child. This whole concealed carry shit. What about my right not to be around guns? I do care about that. And why the fuck is it taking some high school students, and I give them mad props for their bravery, because they're facing adversity just for their age. But why the fuck does it take high school students to call these motherfuckers out? You know, I defend CNN because CNN isn't what they make them out to be. But CNN should have been calling these motherfuckers out all along. See, that's the true criticism of CNN. Not that they're partisan, not that they're left-leaning. CNN's some moderate fucks. They try to keep it in the middle.
But if they're gonna be real news, then they should have been calling these motherfuckers out on both sides of the aisle, all along.
Because Australia had one mass shooting in 1999 in Port Arthur massacre, introduced gun safety, and they haven't had one since. Japan has never had a mass shooting.
The problem with facts nowadays is that they don't matter to half the country. See, what this young woman is saying is simple facts. Same facts that I've been saying for years. And she's gonna receive people that are gonna take these facts and literally tell her that they don't care. That it doesn't matter. That America's different. That what works over there can't work over here because we're different. We're better. We're better. We got our freedom. See, they believe in this illusion that we have freedom. We don't. We have our individual perceptions. We have the realities that we make. And a lot of other realities, quite simply, are so powerful that they're holding the rest of us down. And that's the whole talk of the oligarchy. And I promise you not that this isn't going to be a political video. But I'm saying that what these kids are going to come across with their facts are going to be deaf ears to them. And it's the same thing that we as atheists come across with Christians. And I find it funny that most of these people that are going to be so deaf to the facts about gun violence and gun control are the same people so deaf to the facts about their fictitious God. See, they're so easily deceived. They're so gullible that if they actually believe that Yahweh's up there looking down upon them, that you can literally make them believe anything.
And our response is that our neighbors will not have to go through other school shooter drills. When we have had our say with the government, and maybe the adults have gotten used to saying it is what it is, but if us students have learned anything, it's that if you don't study, you will fail. And in this case, if you actively do nothing, people continually end up dead. So it's time to start doing something.
And the reality that these kids are going to have to face, the realities that we have had to face, those of us that have had this debate over the last several years, I've been pretty much having this debate since Columbine, is that people live in an illusion. You see, most of these people that support the Second Amendment rights have this false notion because they've been led to believe that liberals are coming after their shotguns. You know, so they defend the rights of the people that are buying the semi-automatic weapons, you know, but most of these people are never going to be able to afford an AR-15. They're going to be too poor to ever afford one of these weapons that they're adamantly defending. But they are defending their weapons, the shotguns that they have, the rifles they use for hunting, the pistols. So it's the foolishness of people that these children are going to have to overcome, and how easy it is for even good people to fall into the trap of the right-wing talking points, because already the right wing are tearing these children down, tearing these kids down. They have no shame. They have no shame that these children just watched their friends brutally murdered by an AR-15. No shame. And I only hope that they can face the adversity that's coming their way, because a lot's coming. And it's going to take strength and adversity to overcome.
We are going to be the kids that you read about in textbooks. Not because we are going to be another statistic about mass shootings in America, but because, just as David said, we are going to be the last mass shooting.
You know, I really hope she's right, but she's not. The clock is ticking already. Another mass shooting could happen tomorrow, the next day. You know, they're gonna have this huge march. But as long as Trump is in the White House, as long as these Republicans, these right-wing Christians have power, killing is going to continue. Because, you know, right-wingers aren't really pro-life. They're not. If they were pro-life, right-wingers would be all on board with this, with the protection of life, with getting rid of guns from society altogether. You know, it wouldn't even be a fucking debate about guns if they were truly pro-life. But they're not. Pro-life is just another fucking talking point, another distraction. You know, these Christian folks are so good at lying because their whole lives are a lie, because everything they believe is a lie. And these people don't really believe. The people in power, they don't believe. They laugh. They laugh at the gullible fucking believers that elect them and keep electing them into office so they can keep taking that NRA money.
Time and time again, since he was in middle school, it was no surprise to anyone who knew him to hear that he was the shooter. Those talking about how we should have not ostracized him, you didn't know this kid. Okay, we did. We know that they're claiming that there are mental health issues, and I am not a psychologist, but we need to pay attention to the fact that this isn't just a mental health issue. He wouldn't have harmed that many students with a knife. How about we stop blaming the victims for something that was the shooter's fault? The fault.
And this is something they did immediately. Blame the victims. Why'd you have to pick on him? He was just a right-wing kid. Why'd you have to pick on him? And they're telling you because he was a fucking nut job. And this right-wing ideology, this is why the right-wingers are so scared and clutching for everything they can right now. Because they know that this ideology is dying. You know, they've sucked the titties of the evangelicals for so long, but this bullshit, fictional stories don't hold sway over these kids anymore who have had to learn how to hide from shooters their entire lives. They have known their entire lives that God isn't gonna save them. But it's their fault because this crazy fucker in a MAGA hat who talked about killing them, well, they just weren't nice to him. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Stop blaming the victims and start listening to them. Do you want it to be your child? Because I don't want it to be mine. I want my child to be able to go to school, and I don't want to have to worry that I'm going to have to leave work because her brains are splattered all over the fucking hallway.
The fault of the people who let him buy the guns in the first place, those at the gun shows, the people who encouraged him to buy accessories for his guns to make them fully automatic, the people who didn't take them away from him when they knew that he expressed homicidal tendencies. And I am not talking about the FBI. I am talking about the people that he lived with. I'm talking about the neighbors who saw him outside holding guns.
She's literally talking about you right-wing Christian fucks saying, well, all it takes is a good guy with a gun to kill a bad guy with a gun. Or, well, guns don't kill people. People kill people. She's talking to you fucks.
We are prepared to call BS. Politicians who sit in their gilded House and Senate seats funded by the NRA telling us nothing could have ever been done to prevent this. We call BS. They say that tougher gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS. They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS. They say guns are just tools like knives and are as dangerous as cars. We call BS. No, they say that no laws could have been able to prevent the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS.
And isn't it about time that we as a nation call BS? And you know, I know I've been hard on the right wing. I've been hard on you Christians. But this isn't a political video. There's plenty of blame on both sides of the aisle here. It's not just Republicans taking NRA money. It's not just Republicans taking money from the gun lobby, the gun manufacturers. It's not just Republicans defending the gun manufacturers, allowing them to flood our streets with illegal guns in the black markets, as well as the millions upon millions of legal guns that they sell every year. No, the blame is on both sides of the aisle. You see, I'm a progressive. I'm not a partisan fucking hack. I hold my own to the same account that I hold the other side. You see, I don't defend CNN because, I'm a partisan fuck that thinks CNN does no wrong. I understand that CNN is a tool of the oligarch. It's time for this bullshit to end and for us to take our country back. And the fundamental flaw, the flaw that they can get most of these people with, is God. It's God, people. It's how the Republicans get them on everything. You see, Democrats are the party of me, the atheists, even though most Democrats are Christian. Democrats are gonna try to take you into the next world and take away the old one, take away your guns, take away your right to marriage and your right to God, and that's just not true. But they use that as a tool. And as I said, most of these people will never own these weapons that these people are making millions of dollars to make sure flood the streets. No, they'll own a shotgun or a rifle, a gun that we're not trying to take away from them, a gun that isn't used in most of these mass shootings, a gun that if were used would have limited fatalities, but would still be horrible. I am a true leftist. I would love to see all guns gone. I don't want to see police officers with guns. I don't want my daughter raised in a society of guns. Guns are made with fossil fuels. Guns are part of the problem of climate change, our reliance on everything metal, everything that comes from the earth. Taking away from the earth. You see, but I'm a realist and I know that's never gonna happen, so can we at least get the fucking machine guns off the streets? I mean, it's 2018. Can we at least get the fucking machine guns off the streets?
Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future? In the name of 17 people, you cannot ask the NRA to keep their money out of your campaign?
I think in the name of 17 people, I can pledge to you that I will support any law that will prevent a killer like this.
No, but I'm talking NRA money.
Do you think Senator Rubio regrets going to that town hall? I've never seen anybody allowed to ask a senator a direct question like that. We need more of it. And again, why is it taking fucking children to do the job of adults?
Dana Loesch, I want you to know that we will support your two children in the way that you will not. The shooter at our school obtained weapons that he used on us legally. Do you believe that it should be harder to obtain these semi-automatic and weapons and the modifications for these weapons to make them fully automatic like bump stocks?
Well, first off, Emma, I want to applaud you for standing up and speaking out. This is why I came down here. I don't believe that this insane monster should have ever been able to obtain a firearm, ever. I do not think that he should have gotten his hands on any kind of weapon.
So Dana Douche comes to the town hall and Emma gets to confront her. And Dana Douche lies. You see, the NRA is directly responsible for more people with mental health problems to actually get guns. They bought Trump, and that's one of the first things Trump did. These NRA fucks went the very next day to the CPAC convention and started bashing the kids, started bashing the media. Dana Douche even stole Emma's BS line. See, these people have no shame. And this is why I'm saying that these kids are gonna have to keep it up. But it's also gonna take us, the rational thinking people, to have their backs and to start asking these hard questions and to start holding these motherfuckers accountable too. Shouldn't take children to do the work of men. Shouldn't take young girls to do the work of women. When is enough enough? 2018 should be the start. 2020, get rid of them. You know, I'm not saying vote Democrat, but if you're a Republican and you're voting for these fuckers, if you're using these lines of garbage rhetoric, fuck you. Wake up, because your kid could be next. This isn't a political video. This is part of the same fight, because it is primarily Christians that are the gun owners of America. Not criminals. You know, they're a percentage, but Christians have more guns than criminals. Christians have guns everywhere. Christians are the ones fighting for the Second Amendment rights that they hold so dear. Second Amendment rights that we're talking about muskets. Second Amendment rights that pretty much were telling you, yeah, you have to hunt your food, so you need a gun. Second Amendment rights that weren't taking into account AR-15s, submachine guns, semi-automatic weapons. You gave up your Second Amendment rights the moment the modern military was born. The moment that they could have their rocket launchers and grenades, their laser-guided missiles and their nuclear weapons. You're not allowed all of that shit. It's time to move on as a secular society. You know, and I'm not saying take away weapons so that our police forces can have weapons we don't. I want to take away all weapons across the board, across the world. It's not going to happen. So can we please just come to agreement that we all have children here, that are all going to school, and the last thing that we need on the streets of America in the year 2018 are fucking machine guns. Sorry if I pissed you off, but not really. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is The Raging Atheist. If you like my videos, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share me on your social media. I'll see you soon.